Well, in my continued attempt to bring you stories that you must know about, today I'm going to bring you a story that is going to deeply hurt and embarrass all of us. The auditor of the government, CAG, or the Comptroller Auditor General of India, has submitted its report to Parliament yesterday on the state of affairs of the Jawans in Siachen and Ladakh. Now, this report rips up everything we think we know about what's going on in these areas. It says very clearly that the Jawans who have been stationed there in high altitude areas have not received boots, they have not received goggles, they have not received masks, and they're not even receiving the amount of food that they need to actually survive in cold temperatures and at high altitudes. The report says that procurement is delayed by 4 years. And if I go through the details, it says there's a shortage of snow goggles from between 62 to 98%. There is a shortage of face masks, jackets and sleeping bags that were not procured. There's special rations that were authorized for the troops at those high altitudes to meet their daily energy needs. They were compromised their calorie intake as high as 82%, which basically means that they need a certain number of calories every day in order to fight the cold and the altitude. They're only getting about 20% of what they actually need. Now, like I said, this should embarrass us a great deal, because if we are not feeding these officers and these Jawans adequately, then what are we doing as a country, and who are we feeding really? They've also gone on to say in this particular report that there was a housing project that was sanctioned in order to improve the living conditions of Jawans at these high altitude areas, and that housing project was executed in a very ad hoc fashion, and that is something that is very worrying. The report flagged the shortage of 750 snow goggles. It has also pointed out that there are several irregularities in the procurement of sleeping bags and face masks that have been substandard. Special clothing, mountaineering equipment have not been given to them, and there's an absence of winter overalls. The thing that's most heartbreaking, of course, is the shortage of food, which apparently has not been procured because it's expensive. CAG has now recommended an investigation and has also asked that those people responsible be punished severely and be held accountable. But here's the thing. Our politicians took credit for the work of the Jawans in Kashmir and used their name repeatedly to win elections. Where are those politicians when we find out that these Jawans are not being looked after, they're not being fed, they're not being given the equipment that will keep them safe and keep them healthy in the conditions in which they are working? Siachen made Jawan was used during demonetization, it was used again during GST and again during Pulwama during the elections in 2019. Why aren't we doing their job to make sure that those Jawans in Siachen are properly looked after? This should be something that worries us across lines of whether or not we agree about anything else. This is something the government should be focusing on. But as always, we've noticed the focus is on all the wrong things. Please share this video and push it forward to other people that you believe should have this information.